What is up, guys? Welcome to the race here for round number 1 of the Duel Esports League. I'm Primadino, and once again, I will be your chauffeur here this afternoon. So Prima Mohammed qualified on the pole position here. Obviously, a little bit of Duqueine Prima bias, but clearly they've put in a lot of work. He and his Prima teammates rather have put in a lot of work on the setup, and it's paid off here with a 105.6 as your pole time. VQS Art will start outside of the front row in position number 2. Darkrai, aka Cooper, as most people would probably know him. Better as he is P4. He will start inside of row number 2, shared by Monster on the outside of row number 2. Bezzy is P5. Chalky, as I figured out how that name is pronounced, is in P6. Lolo Rios P7. Dio is in P8. Loyrod is in P9. And then Phoenix, Atomic, Happy, and Everson round out your field. So this is going to be a 50-minute race. As you can see, it's going to be about 45. As you can see, the outlap's going to add a little bit to it. But ultimately, a very long race, and all 3 tire compounds are required. As I'll go ahead and bring the graphic up here. Hopefully it's the right one, as you can see the pace car is retreating to the pit lane. So, field in the hands of Prima Mohammed. I do believe he has full control once we exit the final corner, but as you can see on the screen, there are the rules of the race. So very quickly going to switch back here to the race broadcast, as we're also going to flick back to Happy apparently. Over, Mohammed's going to go into 3rd gear. We've been given the go, so it looks like Mohammed's not going to be able to dictate the start. Art's going to get a little bit of a jump around the outside, maybe just timing it a little bit better, and Art's going to take the early lead here, so not quite sure what the deal was there. Really thought Mohammed would have been in full control of that race start, but obviously it was not the case. So Art's going to lead them off into turn number 1. Got to be careful. Got to make sure that we keep it clean as Chalky gets into it a little bit there with Bezzy, although it looks like mostly all the drivers have gotten single filed out, as Lolo Rios making up a spot there and moving himself up into position number 6. So thankfully everybody survived the first couple of corners, but yeah, very confusing there from race control, as Bezzy has a massive moment over the curves, but thankfully was able to ultimately catch it. So coming through the first sector this time by, Art is actually being challenged by Mohammed around the outside. Remember, this is a 50-minute race according to the bottom left, so Art's going to swoop around the outside and take the race lead back. I wonder if that was maybe a little bit of a courtesy thing there from Art, or maybe just the Prima setup is too OP, the Prima dock is too OP. So at the end, coming to the end of lap number 1, Prima Mohammed leads from Art. Cooper is P3, Monster P4, Chalky rather is in P5 for Team Zera, and then Lolo Rios, Bezzy, Dio, Happy, Atomic, Weberson, Loyrot has had a crash. Oh no, so remember, damage does not fix itself. He's going to need to come into the pit lane. Front, rear, right front, and right rear damage. Not the way that you want it, that you would want a race to be started off here. Does anybody else have damage? It looks like NLR Phoenix might have just had a moment and has gotten away with it. So Laura's going to have to come into the pit lane here and fix that damage, but Mohammed will be the leader early. The race leader, Prima Mohammed, has come in as well at the end of lap number 14, or at the end of lap number 13 rather, as 14 has just begun. So I think the big thing here is what tire compound is he going to go on to, and B, what fuel load is he going to put in that car. Obviously, you only want to put as much fuel in the car as far as you want to go in this stint of really a lot of fuel going into that car, and onto another set of softs. Surely that can't be correct. Maybe a turning point here in this race as VQS Art comes into the pit lane here. So onto another set of medium compound rubber, and I'd imagine a lot of fuel is going to be going on board here to this Goodyear rather rubbered vehicle. So a lot of fuel going into this car, maybe even a full load. Yeah, full load there, as Hunter Weaverson is going to come in as well. So the first round of pit stops have been completed. We'll see where he cycles out, as you can see, or rather as you can hear Prima Mohammed going by there. Out of the pit lane here soon. It will be very close with Cooper at pit exit. Remember, Cooper's on a set of softs. Actually, Art has gone on to a set of hards. Huh. Very, very interesting. So unfortunately, Cooper will have to deal with him at some point on this stint, but I'd imagine that will come rather pretty quickly. So out in P3 here for Art. I wonder if that pit stop omitting strategy is still on the cards. And going hard, he's going to try to go as long as possible. I think Art's going to try to 2-stop, whilst everybody else is going to go for the 3. I'm not going to flash him by, so maybe there will be a bit of a contest here, but I think if there was, he would have defended it. Cooper's going to go ahead and move himself up into P2. So, remember, Cooper started this race on a set of medium compound rubber, and Mohammed started this race on a set of soft. So still a full soft stint yet to go for both drivers, but really early on, Mohammed's looking pretty good. So around the outside goes Lolo Rios, up into P3. Remember, he and Cooper are both on a set of soft compound rubber, so still needing to take that hard compound set. I do believe, only the hard compound tires to go, at least in terms of fulfilling rather their requirement here in this race. But still, as you can see, 18.5 seconds back of Mohammed. That's going to be a really, really big gap to be able to overcome here. But in any case, Monster Now back down into P4. Well, battle going here for position number 6. I can't imagine Chalky's going to put up too much of a fight here for Dio. The GT Bros driver, remember, he's on a set of softs, so he's got mediums already, now on a set of softs, so still the hard compound tires to go. So we've got Cooper in the pit lane. So your P2 runner in this race has come in for his second pit stop here in this race. Remember, he was the first driver to pit here in this race. Also, Monster's going to follow him in. Interesting. So probably opting not to fight with those coming on a new set of tires. So eventually we'll figure out what tires he went on to. He's not gone with a full load of fuel, so it's definitely not going to be hards again. Obviously, you're going to use those only once. Oh, there you go. I lied. It's hards. Well, down and away goes race leader, Primo Mohammed. So let's see, as unfortunately my camera resolution has gone kind of to poo-poo here for a second. Hopefully it'll clear itself up. But overall, a really good first 2 stints here. But unfortunately, this is where it's going to get tough for Mohammed. So about 20 minutes left here in this race. He's now got to go on to the mediums basically till the final lap, more or less, and then go on to hards to finish. So Lolo Rios will take over the provisional lead of this race as we have another chunky moment. Love to see it. And then Art's P2, I think on merit, Art is in the net lead of this race. However, it really comes down to what happens here in this final stint. So provisionally, as we come to 20 minutes rather to go in this race, VQS Art currently, I do believe, leads on merit as he's gone for the 2-stop strategy. While Primo Mohammed, who runs in a net P2, has opted for the 3-stop. Really comes down to what's going to happen on that final stint. Oh boy. And so Atomic's still got a pit. I do believe Lolo is going to come out, I believe, right around Cooper's area. Cooper is, I mean, it's going to be tied here at pit exit. So Cooper's on hards. Lolo is going to come out on that brand new set of softs in position number 5. So a net P3 here for Lolo. So very good stuff there from the Toaster team. So Cooper's going to come out in a net P4. Monster is going to be P5. Then we just wait on the pit stops here of Atomic and Dio to see what the proper running order is. I wonder if there's going to be any drama here on this lap. Surely, I mean, there's no way he's going to want to wait around up the inside. Not going to be too much of a contest here, although maybe maybe a little bit of a challenge there, a little bit deep as well there from Lolo, but ultimately, brand new soft compound rubber will do him a lot of favors there, as you can see, Atomic's going to go ahead rather. And bail out and make his way into the pit lane. So Cooper, it's going to be close between these guys and Dio at pit exit. I wonder if this is going to work out here for the Czech driver. It was a bit of a quiet start to this race here for Bezzy as we have more screen glitches. Love to see it. But yeah, Bezzy's made his way back into this race. I'm not quite sure where he is in terms of strategy as compared to everybody else. Obviously, the entire field essentially still has one more pit stop to go of some form. But Bezzy, the Polish driver, one of the drivers that I thought was going to contend for the race win here this afternoon, has now worked his way back up into P5. Moment of truth here. So VQSR comes into the pit lane for his final pit stop, or at least what I can only assume is going to be his final pit stop here in this race. So definitely going to go on to that set of soft compound rubber. He is the only driver that has opted to go for the 2-stop strategy, and it might just work out for him here this afternoon. So a lot of fuel going into this car. It really comes down to, can he make the softs last, which I believe he will. So coming up on 13 minutes left in this race, got to put the pedal to the metal. We'll see what happens. We'll see where he cycles out, but still one more pit stop essentially happening for every driver in the field. Final pit stop here for Team TX3 as well. So I'd imagine most of these guys are going to be going on to another set of soft compound rubber. It really doesn't make sense to go into mediums this late in the race, although I could be proven wrong. So yeah, Monster, Bezzy, and Chalky all coming in for their final pit stops. Yeah, going on to another set of softs. Go figure. So everybody's making their final pit stops here. Where does Mohammed blend out with Art? And here's Mohammed coming out of the pit lane. So onto a set of hard compound rubber, right? There we go. So onto a set of hards. Art's coming on a set of softs. This is going to be a very close fight. It might not be this lap, but the battle for the win is on. Everybody has completed their final pit stop. So the final running order before we go to the end of this race. Mohammed leads. Art is P2, chasing him down on that brand new set of soft compound rubber. Monster currently runs in P3 ahead of Bezzy. Both those guys are about on the same strategy, about the same fuel. This should be a straight fight to the end. Lolo Rios trying to survive on the set of hards, whilst Darkrai and Chalky fight themselves out for P6 and P7. NLR Phoenix runs in P8. Atomic is P9, and you can see the rest of the running order here. It's oh boy, defend. Why is he not defending? No. Well, yeah, Art's gonna go up the inside here. I'm not quite sure that there's anything Mohammed can do. I think the best thing that Mohammed can do right now, try to take a deep breath, make sure you limit the mistakes that are going to be made. But with 3 minutes left to go, I don't think there's enough time for these tires to even out. I think Art might have just won this race. Well, I'll be honest, this race looked like it was going to be Primo Mohammed's, but in the end, it was VQS Art, the only driver that attempted the 2-stop strategy. It's going to be the winning strategy here for round number 1. I cannot believe it. I am gobsmacked, flabbergasted, any word that you can think of. But either way, Arthur... I forgot his full name. VQS Art, I apologize. I'll remember it for next time. VQS Art wins round number 1 of the Duel Esports Championship. Primo Mohammed comes home a disappointing P2 going forward here. TX3 Monster will bring home the P3 there for them. And ultimately a really good result there. for the TX3 team. Bezzy will come home in P4 for Team ERS. ERM Lolo Rios will come home P5 for the Toaster team. And I'm sure lots left to be desired there from the ERM side. Cooper, same goes. Really, Cooper and Chalky as well, coming home in P6 and P7. Fairly disappointing results there for those two. Really expected a lot more. Just needed to be a bit better in terms of strategy. NLR Phoenix will come home in P8, with Dio coming home in P9. And then everybody from P10 on back has already finished. So there you go, your top three: BQS Art, Primo Mohammed, and TX3 Monster. Congratulations to your podium finishers. And wow, what a strategy call there from Art to go with the 2-stop. Stick around. Make sure you guys do not leave. There will be post-race interviews I should mention as well. But there you go. BQS Art is your race winner.